All right. What's up, everybody? Today we're doing something fun. We're on my floor. Oh, this camera is angled. Woo! You know, my tripod recently started going super angled. It's weird, man. I'm currently wearing Heelys. You guys remember these shoes? The one with the little wheels? So underrated. I got them on eBay like 10 years ago or something. As always, I'm joined with my buddy Charlie, the little fuzzy noodle. Let's get into today's video. This one is super interesting, man. When I found this, I'm like, holy bruh. I gotta definitely do a video on this. Since my last video got blocked in the UK and the United States, if you're in the US or you're in the UK, which are two of my top markets, you didn't see that.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
What we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna go through this, I guess, photo album. It's titled 48 Moments That Will Make You Look at History Differently. These are photos that have so much going on in them, even though they might be a simple photo. It's like, I haven't even seen them all, but most of these are like, wow. The fact that that was captured, it's unbelievable. We're gonna keep the pace moving. Let's do it. Picture number 1. Ooh, okay, this is titled Testing a Helmet in 1912. He's jumping headfirst into a wooden wall. It almost looks like it's photoshopped or something. All right, number 2, the world's first selfie. Oh, this one's so cool. This was back in 1837 when a certain Robert Cornelius, what an 1837 name, Robert Cornelius, took one of the first ever self-portrait photos. So I wonder if that's actually the first selfie. And I swear cameras back then were like, okay, pose. Threw that like curtain over their head and there's like, and there's like smoke. All right, next one, Pablo Picasso. 1957, he's dressed as Popeye. The photographer here was a friend of Picasso's and took the picture of him in 1957, posing as Popeye. Children for sale. No. Is this real? In this tragic image, a shamed mother is photographed putting her children up for sale in 1948, highlighting the difficult years many Americans faced after the war. But this image is no joke, and the children in question did in fact find themselves sold off to strangers at the behest of their own parents. Wow. All right, next photo. The first flight. Orville and Wilbur Wright. Historic 1903 flight in North Carolina transformed our ability to travel. This image was taken seconds after their famous first flight. Who knew? I bet these guys had no idea what was about to happen with that. That's their first successful flight. It looked like maybe he was standing on this little box and then just jumped or something. Einstein gives journalist a smile. This is such a famous photo. I've seen this on t-shirts in like Urban Outfitters. I think what it is you have Albert Einstein, who's just like genius, and he's sticking his tongue out. Everyone's like, oh, he's so silly. Like a genius can still be silly, you know? On his birthday party in March of 1951, a journalist asked Albert for a smile. Tired of smiling all night? The physicist replied with an eccentric sticking out of the tongue. He may have had few beers by that point. Swedish airline stewardess, 1959. Holy bruh. I feel like the 1959, that was when like objectifying women was at its peak, man. Like look what they make this woman wear. Back when flying was still glamorous, many ladies dreamed of becoming an air stewardess. Castro the Joker. Fidel Castro became one of the greatest thorns in American side over the second half of the 20th century. The image of a battle-hardened militant comes in great contrast to this light-hearted dress-up with children. This is creepy as hell. John Lennon signs Mark Chapman's autograph. On the evening of December 8th, 1980, John Lennon was fatally shot in the archway of the Dakota, his residence in New York City. This was taken a few hours before the moment with Chapman asking for an autograph. That's him right there, guys. A few hours before. What a chilling photo. Signing an autograph, had no idea that the guy who he's signing for was about to shoot him. California Lumberjacks. This image is from the 1915 era, capturing lumberjacks working amongst the gargantuan redwoods in California with commercial logging was at its very... There's no way they used axes. Let me zoom in here. I don't see any of them holding axes. That also seems very unsafe. You have this thousands and thousands of pounds tree above you, and you guys are just standing in the crack of it. The first photo ever taken. What? I've never seen this. What's in the image is not the focus here. The photo itself is in fact the oldest surviving permanent photograph in existence. Wow. So is this just a shadow of the sun then? Russian spy smiles during execution. Don't you wonder who's taking the photo in this situation? Let me just get my camera out with the cape. This was taken in November of 1942. This Russian spy opts to smile before he's executed. It was perhaps his last act of defiance. See, he is smiling. It kind of looks like he's sort of like cringing a bit, like it's gonna come soon. This is like straight out of a movie, man. That's crazy. Jonah Kroof. has a smoke at halftime. Oh, I'm butchering that. I know a lot of you guys are gonna be freaking on me because I think this guy's a soccer legend, football legend. I apologize. In the 1978 World Cup final, Dutch superstar, I guess it's Johan, decides to enjoy a cigarette at halftime. That's halftime, guys. The game's not even done and he's hacking a dart. Wow. Joseph Goebbels realizes his photographer is Jewish, 1933. Yikes. That era in that sentence does not seem like it matches. Glaring at photographer Alfred Eisenstadt, the Nazi minister has just learned of his photographer's Jewish background. If looks could kill. No. Look at that face. That face right there is exactly that. Like if looks could kill, that's what it would look like. Like, wow. The first morning Sweden drove on the right side of the road. Wow. Did people not know to not walk on the road either? Like what's going on here? There's like more people on the road than there is the sidewalk. Was a situation in which the traffic in Sweden switched from driving on the left-hand side of the road to the right. Suffice to say, it caused a few headaches trying to get to work. I don't think anybody's on the right side of the road. This poor truck, he's the only one listening. No, what am I saying? No, he's not. These two cars are the only ones listening. I still don't know why there's like 1,000 people on the road. That's not helping the cause. Oh, this is a super famous photo. Attempts to stop the first woman from competing in the Boston Marathon. Yeah, I remember seeing this. This guy right here, the black jacket, ran out to grab her so she couldn't finish the marathon. Kathryn Switzer, the first woman to compete in the Boston Marathon as a numbered entrant. During the race, one Jock Semple attempted to stop Switzer from grabbing her official bib. However, he was shoved to the ground by Switzer's boyfriend, Thomas Miller, and she ended up completing the race. What a time to live that you wouldn't even let a woman run a race. You had to let only guys do it. Like, what a pathetic time. Cadets at Eton College. During World War II, one of the most aristocratic and privileged schools in England, Eton College regularly held cadet drills in preparation for possible conflict with Hitler's forces. Top hat, tucked in pants, dovetailed suit or whatever it is. How could they fight in that? Like, why don't you give them something a little bit more practical? Salvador Dali's Anteater. Maybe the most famous surrealist artist ever, Salvador Dali was just as strange in real life as his works of art. Here he is walking his pet anteater through the streets of Paris in 1969. Ew, he's letting his... That looks like someone just poured coffee out and his little anteater is eating it. What a legend, man.
Hey man, listen, I know you're lonely. You want a dog? No? Okay, cat maybe? Something a little weirder, eh? Okay, maybe a lizard. No lizard. Okay, what are you thinking right now? An anteater. Okay.
Mussolini's fascist headquarters in Rome. That's crazy. You know what's crazy? There's actually a headquarters. This is like a villain's headquarters that you'd see in like Batman or something. You know, like the Joker's headquarters. The first ever McDonald's. We all know how this went. If you've seen the movie The Founder, these poor guys had no idea what was coming for them. Because I believe that the ones that started McDonald's didn't benefit from the company that it is today. This one's a 19th century photography for children. Oh damn, that's creepy as hell. Makes them look like their legs are like 9 feet long. In the 19th century, it wasn't as easy as it is today to take a photograph. Back then, you'd have to sit still for a long period of time to process the snapshot. That's where the mother comes in. No way she's under there. Oh my God, is the mom under there? She's draped herself over with fabric to conceal her presence while holding her child still. Is this the mom like in the black cloth? Or is she under the dress? What a creepy photo though. 106-year-old Armenian woman defends her house in 1990. That's scary. Badass and scary. Osama bin Laden on vacation with his family in Sweden of 1970? Wow, what? This image stumps many people. How did this sweet young man, second from the right, find himself on the FBI's most wanted list, being the architect of the most devastating terrorist attack in US history? Wow. I think this photo has been colorized from black and white. There's just something about it you can usually tell. That's unbelievable. Like he's smiling, like it looks like he's got a big happy family. Just to know what he has the potential to do later in life is scary. Captured in Hanoi. This snapshot of a US airman being captured by Vietnamese forces was taken in 1967. It shows Viet Cong soldiers working together to secure him. The airman in the picture is John McCain. What? Yo, these photos are loaded with history. That's John McCain that they've captured, wow. Princeton University students after a snowball fight in 1893? The hell, was snow made of rock back then? Maybe it was one of those fights, like a snowball fights, where you guys are having fun and then someone throws one slightly too hard and you're like,
Okay, bitch.
look at their faces. And they don't look too thrilled to take this photo.
It's like, all right, guys, you finished your snowball fight. Come on in, let's take a pic.
I'm sorry, that does not look like a snowball fight. This guy's eye is swollen shut. Through the soldier's eyes. Oh my God, is that real? That's a restored photo for sure though. The photo titled Into the Jaws of Death gives us a disturbing experience of offering the perspective of Allied soldiers storming the beachfront on D-Day. Seal of Tutankhamun's tomb. Oh, it's just some rope. East German soldier helps boy escape to rejoin his family in the West. Wow, what a hero, man. Who captured this photo? Because that guy would have been... The aftermath of the Second World War was a messy and traumatic experience for millions of people, especially those unfortunately separated from their family as a result. Filming the MGM opening credits. I learned this recently, by the way. That famous MGM where it's like, with the lion and stuff, that was a real lion. Wow, it looks like he's about to drop like the hottest track of the year. Teenagers in the 1950s. That seems like something I would have done in 2008. That's impressive, man. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13. I count 14 people. I'm surprised that's still holding. Those things are not sturdy. And they smell like piss. Especially in London. I've heard that if you go to London, do not go in those red phone booths that like everyone loves to go in as tourists. Because apparently people just piss in there. Boxing on the USS Oregon, 1897. This looks like a scene out of Peaky Blinders. Oh, this one's crazy as hell. Last known picture of James Dean. No way. He's got his driving gloves on too. Hours before a fatal car accident, Hollywood heartthrob James Dean was just filling his Porsche up with gas at a station. Little did the photographer know that this would be the last image of the rebel without a cause. That's like a John Lennon one. It's creepy to know that hours later he'd be dead. And no one knows it, you know? It's a capture in time. The day they opened Disney Studios. I'm guessing this is Mr. Walt Disney here in the vest. I wonder which one's Mickey. Entertaining the troops. Again, you put a pretty girl amongst all these men. Billy the Kid. There's only 2 known images of him in existence. First ever ride on the subway in New York City in 1904. That's pretty cool. Babies on your marks. What, they raced babies? Back in 1946, we didn't coddle our children quite like today. Not only weren't they wrapped in cotton wool, but some clever parents decided to have them race. That's right, racing babies. World's smallest storefront. Oh my God, the guy's, he's on the floor. He looks like he's selling shoes. The future Michael. This is a picture of what they assume Michael Jackson would look like in the year 2000. They say this is Michael Jackson at 40. He will have aged gracefully and will have a handsome, more mature look. I mean, that's up for debate, man. Whether or not he aged gracefully is up for debate, because he had a lot of work done. In number, his fans will have grown tenfold by the year 2000. Wow, were they wrong. He looked nothing like this in 2000. Mummy for sale. In 1865, you could travel to Egypt and purchase your very own mummy. Ew, why would you do that? Again, they're just gonna haunt your house. Swimming lessons in the 20s. You know, they had lakes, they had oceans to prop them up on another kid's back and be like, paddle. Yo, humans were so weird back then, man. It says back in 1920, England, the school didn't want you drowning in your first dip, so they implemented this genius method. Just look at how happy those boys are. The kids on the bottom are like, this sucks. A Texas track meet in the 60s. Look at the hair. That is so Texan, man. They're just missing like bedazzled hats that say Christ or something like that. This image shows just how our expectations of women in society has perhaps matured since the 60s. Man, like they even expected women to get super dolled up for a race. Moonshiner's cow shoes. Oh, that's genius! When Prohibition was all the rage in the early 20th century, it was left to the industrious moonshiners to illegally fill the demand gap. No way. You know when you walk in dirt, you could tell someone's shoes were there. They put little hoofs so it looks like just a cow was walking there. Oh man, that's sneaky. Submarine armor. That looks heavy as hell. Testing the bulletproof vest. What a bad idea, man. That poor guy, unless he's the inventor. A live demonstration in DC shows the men showing police their new product, only after the man on the left had soiled himself. That is, we don't know if that's true. Super risky. New York swim mobile. Well, that's cool. It was a mobile swimming pool the city recreation employees brought down to inner city neighborhoods for children who couldn't otherwise reach a pool. Human chess. This is 1924. They use humans on a life-size. Hawaiian night fishing. Fishing in shallow waters usually requires a spear and a quick eye. But in Hawaii, they also need some light for night fishing, as bright lights attract fish in shallow waters. Wow, okay, smart. Oh, that's it. That's 48 pictures. Those are super interesting, man, especially the ones like with John Lennon and James Dean. To know what happened after those photos were taken, it's chilling to think, you know? They had no idea. The world had no idea. Yeah, super cool. Please comment down below which photo was your favorite, or if there's one on this list that should be there. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I said that backwards. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I post on my Instagram story almost every day at Danocracy. You can go there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video. See you guys later.